They saved together. They dreamed together, sacrificed together. He called her his partner, yet he built alone. What if the person you trusted most with your dreams was secretly using your sacrifices to build theirs? This is the story of Bisi and Tayo and a betrayal that stings so deep. Bisi wasn't just a wife. She was what we call a thousand-yard wife material. Hardworking, selfless, submissive, down to earth, loving, and every man's dream. For 8 long years, she was the Adeniran family's Minister of Finance, the undisputed queen of their budget. Every single naira had a purpose, a destination, a mission. She didn't mind wearing the same church clothes for 3 years straight, and whenever her friends tried to pressure her into buying new ones, she would laugh heartily and wave them off. I beg, this one still have life in them. Oh. Abi, you want make I spend all my money finish the buy shoe? Instead of fancy restaurant dates, she prepared homemade feasts. Instead of expensive outings, she found joy in their living room movie nights. She managed every cupboard that entered their home like a seasoned accountant because there was a goal ahead, a vision burning bright in both their hearts, their dream house. To Bisi, this wasn't sacrifice. This was investment. This was love in action. Look at that garden, Bisi. Can you imagine? One day, our children will run around in a space just like this, climbing those mango trees. And you will finally have your proper study where you can walk in peace. And me, that big kitchen. I can't wait to start cooking proper meals there, Jerry. All these sacrifices will be worth it. We just need a little more patience, Abby. It won't be much longer now. Savings looking, by the way. We are getting there, my love. Closer every single day. Your discipline, your budgeting genius, it's making our dream more realistic by the day. Little did she know that when he said we are getting there, he meant he was getting there, not we. It happened on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon in March. The kind of day that starts like every other day, but ends up dividing your life into before and after. She was just looking for their NEPA bill to dispute yet another outrageous charge. Something so simple, so innocent, but sometimes the truth has a way of revealing itself when you least expect it. And that's when she found it, a fat manila folder, deliberately hidden behind that old University of Lagos textbook that hasn't been touched since 2015. Oh, what is this one now? Maybe it's Tayo's forgotten picture star show, or bills or receipts or whatever. And then she decided to just have a look. But what she found inside wasn't any of those things she was expecting. Instead, it was betrayal wrapped in official stamps and signatures. Receipts for 847 bags of cement, enough to build a mansion. Invoices from Covenant Construction Company totaling about 8 million naira. Detailed architectural drawings for a 4-bedroom duplex with boys' quarters. And then the photos. Bisi's trembling hands revealed printed photos one by one. She thought for a very split second, could it be that Tayo is planning something special, like a surprise for her 10th anniversary next month? And then came the final dagger to her heart, the certificate of occupancy, registered in one name only, Mr. Tayo Adeniran. Not in Lagos where they planned, not even in Abuja where they dreamed of, but in Ijebu-Ode, his village, right behind their family compound. With the folder right on the table in her front. And then, some few hours later, she heard the key turn in the lock and the door gently opened. Tayo was home. Good evening, my love. How was your day? I hope that NEPA wahala didn't stress you too much. Tayo, do you want to explain this yourself? Or should I start guessing? Bisi, babe, it's not what you think at all. I swear on my mother's grave. I was going to tell you, I was building it for us, for our future together. For us. Tayo, for us. My name is nowhere on this paper. Our future was never supposed to be in your village, behind your family compound. Our future was here in Lagos, together. Or so I thought. Tayo replied. I didn't tell you because I wanted it to be a surprise. For 8 years, I have been speaking the language of us, sacrificing, planning, building together. When all this while, you have been loudly whispering me all along. Bisi didn't argue any further. She didn't scream. She just stood up and walked straight to their bedroom. She stands there, lost in thoughts, replaying every sacrifice. Then she screamed, took their wedding photo, and smashed it on the floor. You built a house with my hunger. And then, afraid of unleashing a side of her she didn't even know was there, she started packing her things. It took 2 years, three different side hustles, and one almost complete breakdown in a shopping mall's parking lot at 11 p.m. But Bisi built herself back together, brick by brick, naira by naira. She got a small one-bedroom apartment somewhere down in Lagos. Nothing fancy, no boys' quarters, no elaborate kitchen, no mango trees for children to climb. But it had something more precious. Our name was on the papers, and there were no secrets hiding in the walls. She found the version of herself she had buried under 8 years of yesa. And whatever you think is best, my love, she discovered she loved painting, started a small catering business, learned to laugh at her own jokes again. Now, when people ask her why she left a man who never laid a hand on her, who was a good provider, who never cheated with another woman, she smiles that knowing smile and says, "You're right, it didn't hit me, but I was bleeding in places no eye could see." She forgave Tayo even before you ever asked for it. Not because he deserved it, but because her healing journey was more important than his apology tour. She was thankful that the truth didn't destroy her. One day, Bayo went to the bar with his friend, and the following discussion ensued. "Guy, you've been sitting there like someone died. What's eating you up?" Bisi won't even give me a listening ear. She wouldn't allow me to explain to her. All her lines have been switched off. Her parents claim not to know where she is. It's like she vanished into thin air. Wait, back up. What are you talking about? The house, Kunle. The one I've been building back home for some years. I never told her about it. I didn't put her name on the original papers. Jesus Christ, Tayo, you built a whole house without telling your wife? You don't understand, man. You weren't there when my Uncle Biodun's wife cleaned out his account and disappeared with another man to Canada. 23 years of marriage, gone overnight. She took everything, the house, the cars, even his supposed children weren't his after all. My uncle died as a result of the emotional breakdown. My brother pulled me aside after the burial and said, "Abromi, never put everything in a woman's name. Love her, care for her, but always have something that is just yours. Women can change overnight." So, you decided to build a secret house. It wasn't supposed to be secret forever. I was going to tell her sometimes later. I thought I was being smart now, protecting my future. Tayo, Tayo, Tayo. Do you hear yourself right now? Your Uncle Biodo's wife was a different woman. Bisi is not your uncle's wife. For years, I have seen that woman love you like her life depended on it. She made you homemade food regularly, while other wives out there are demanding Chinese restaurants. She took buses to work, while her friends were driving their husbands' cars. And you're sitting here telling me you were protecting yourself from her? But what? What if the most loyal woman in Lagos suddenly became a gold digger? What if the woman who sacrificed her youth for your future suddenly became selfish overnight? Brother, you didn't protect yourself from BCO. You protected yourself from a ghost, from women who never existed in your marriage. And in the process, you broke the one woman who would have walked through fire for you. I understand where you're coming from, but you have allowed fear to drive you to hurt the one person who never gave you a reason to be afraid. If you want any chance of getting that woman back, you need to stop making excuses and start taking responsibility. Go to her, go with the truth. Tell her the whole truth about your fears, your family stories, your stupid, misguided attempt to protect what you thought might be threatened. And then pray. Pray that the woman you spent 8 years doubting has more grace in her heart than you had faith in yours. On a quiet Thursday morning, Bisi heard a knock at her apartment door. She went to open it, only to find Tayo standing there, looking older, wearier, and holding yet another manila folder, very similar to the one that shattered her world 3 years ago. But this one, he claimed, was different. Bisi slams the door shut. For months, Tayo sleeps in a car outside her apartment, leaves messages in her mailbox, and then, one evening, she finds him shivering in the rain. Finally, Bisi went to the door and slightly opens it. Bisi, please, just look at this. It's the new deed to the house. See, your name is right here now. Mrs. Bisi Adeniro, right next to mine, where it should have been from the beginning. It's ours now, for real, legally yours too. I was a fool, Bisi, a complete fool. That house, it's just 4 walls and a roof without you there to make it a home, without your laughter, your cooking, your dreams filling the rooms. But as she looked at him, Tayo realized something profound. The woman staring back at him was no longer the same person that left him 2 years ago. That old Bisi, the one who saved every kobo like it was gold dust, who dreamed every dream through his eyes, who measured her worth by his approval. That Bisi would have cried tears of joy, would have collapsed into his arms like a movie scene, would have called it a miracle, a sign from God, a second chance at their fairy tale. But Tayo wasn't talking to the old Bisi anymore. It was talking to a woman who had learned the profound difference between being lonely and being at peace. A woman who had built a life so solid it didn't need its validation as its foundation. She looked at the paper. All that brick and mortar she had bled for, starved for, sacrificed her present for. Then she looked at him, the man she had once loved more fiercely than she loved herself. And she gave him something he wasn't expecting, a small, sad, knowing smile. You're absolutely right, Tayo. You built a house. A beautiful house, I'm sure. But while you were busy building the house of secrets and lies, I was forced to build something far more precious. I built myself. I built my life made of truth and strength and peace that no man can give me and no man can take away. And my home, Tayo, my home is not for sale. The silence that followed was deafening, louder than any fight they'd ever had, more final than any argument. He stood there confused, clutching his deed like a winning lottery ticket that has just expired. He didn't understand. In his mind, the house was the prize, the solution, the key to everything. Once again, she closed the door. But Tayo never gave up. About a few days later, He came back, even though Bisi didn't allow him in after he had knocked. He stood there, as Bayo stood there, drenched in the rain, still clutching the new house deed. Bisi looked at him, and there and then, two women wrestled inside her soul. The first woman was the one forged in the fire of betrayal. She wanted to slam the door permanently, lock it twice, and hold up her new life like an impenetrable shield. She wanted to shout from a balcony, "You are too late, Tayo Adeniro, too late by 3 years and 1,000 years." But the second woman, the one who had found her strength, not in the bitter satisfaction of revenge, but on her knees in midnight prayers, in worship, in the quiet whispers of forgiveness that had slowly healed her wounded spirits. She paused and quietly went to open the door. She looked past Tayo's tired, desperate eyes and saw something that surprised her. A genuinely broken man trying to solve a deeper problem with a surface level solution. And she remembered the words Pastor Adebayo had spoken just last Sunday. "My daughter, grace is never cheap. It cost God everything to give it to us, and sometimes it will cost you your pride to extend it to others." Slowly, Bisi opened her door once again, but not to let him in, but to speak the truth. She looked at him, and Tayo knew he wasn't seeing the wife he had betrayed, the woman he had taken for granted. He was seeing a woman of profound, unshakable strength. Her voice was as calm, yet steady as bedrock. "Tayo, this paper you are holding, it's a solution to a problem I no longer have. You still don't understand, do you? The house was never the real issue. The foundation you broke wasn't made of cement and sand and iron rod. It was made of trust, built with years of we and us and together. And you cannot repair that with a signature on a document. If you want to rebuild what you destroyed, you cannot do it with papers and grand gestures. You must rebuild it the same way I built myself back. Stone by painful stone, day by difficult day, truth by honest truth." This wasn't reconciliation. Not yet. This was the beginning of something much harder: accountability. Tayo was confused. "What do you mean, Bisi? I don't understand." Bisi sighed. "We will never, ever go back to the way we were before. That version of us where I gave blindly and you took silently. That marriage is dead and buried. If we are to have any future together, we must build a completely new foundation from scratch with new rules. Our first visit will not be to the beautiful house you built in the village. It will be to a marriage counselor every week for as long as it takes. Our second visit will be to my parents' house, where you will sit across from my father and look him in the eye while you account for every year you use their daughter's hopes and dreams as your secret building fund. You will give me complete access to every bank account, every email, every phone, every business transaction, everything that is of joint venture to us. Not because I plan to police you like a child, but because we must live in the light now. No more shadows, no more secrets, no more "I was protecting you" lies. You have to understand something very clearly, Tayo. If you want a future with me, you must earn the trust of the woman I have become. This was not a yes. It was not a no. It was probation. Tayo falls to his knees, appreciating Bisi for her forgiveness and second chance. He agrees to all the terms and said he is ready to start afresh. This was the beginning of their long, uncertain walk back to each other. It was messy. It was painful. There were days when Bisi and Tayo wanted to give up, when old wounds reopened, when trust felt impossible. There were nights when Tayo wondered if he would ever truly earn back what he had so carelessly thrown away. But they were rebuilding now with completely different materials. Truth, even when it cuts deep. Prayer, even when the answer seemed slow in coming, and a brutal, beautiful honesty that left no room for shadows. Because sometimes the greatest act of love is not just forgiveness, it is the courage to demand better and become better. Thank you for watching, and remember to share, comment, like, and subscribe to this channel. See you in the next episode.